AI is a huge topic and an instrumental part of what will be the future of not just the games development industry, but life itself. In today's video, I want to go over my thoughts on AI specifically for the indie game development industry and talk about how I think it is best used, as well as going into how to avoid what I'll be calling AI scammers for this video, as I've had a few run-ins in the past couple of weeks with this, and I really wanted to talk about it because I think it shows how AI shouldn't be used, and also go into how I've used AI in certain things as a tool rather than a replacement. So to start off, I did also want to say that this is going to be a very discussion-based video like the last time. I like these ones a lot more. It means I can keep flowing, and it's one of those topics that you kind of want to just go with the flow on it and talk about everything all in one go. So starting off with AI in indie game development is currently probably the biggest thing that I've been talking about with other indie game developers, especially at my university. And I wanted to say how I feel about it and, get other people's ideas on it as well. Currently, the general stance I have on it is AI is good if used as a tool to assist with things in a very minor way or to solve very targeted specific problems. AI is wrongly used, I think, when it is a replacement or it's used to replace certain things. So it can be used for example, in my case, I use the Gemini one, so for coding help. So when I do blueprints, I'm okay at them now. I'm pretty good actually, but I still have sometimes where I'm like, right, why is the node not working? Why is this not working? So I feed that into there. I go, right, what's wrong? It will give me basically a to-do list, and I'll go, right, I don't want a to-do list, but I'll look through the to-do list that it gives me, and it will say one little thing such as, oh, this node does this, and I'll be like, I didn't know that before. And then that small little thing out of the massive, whitewash waffle, for example, the AI does produce, I can pick out something, but saying that it is only possible to do that if you have prior knowledge and contextual knowledge of what the AI is talking about. Otherwise, you're just going to be blindly putting things in, and that's when things start to have problem, which I'll talk about later, as I almost got scammed the other day by this guy who was basically trying to sell me something that wasn't his, and I feel very strongly about that, so I wanted to talk about that in more detail in a bit. But saying that is how I feel AI can be good to use. I use it for little assistance with programming, but overall it stays very much as a tool, not as a replacement. So moving on from that, how is AI wrongly used? I'm going to go into more detail on that now. So the other day, 2 weeks ago, when my Steam page went live, this is more of a general thing as well. I think I actually saw Relic Games made a video on this, about he almost got scammed trying to find someone to do his capsule art. And all the people he was finding were trying to give him these AI-generated capsule art, and eventually he found a proper artist. And the difference between the artist's work and the AI artist's work was very, very significant. And the fact that people were trying to get him to pay for something that they did not make, it is baffling. But as for me, I have just recently announced my Steam page. I've released my Steam page and demo for Appalachian Onslaught, which is my tower defense cryptid horror. It's not really a horror game, but it's a tower defense cryptid game. And so I put that up, and it's public. And I have a Discord. So over the past few weeks, I've been having some people join the Discord, and they've marketed something to me. So there was this one really nice guy who was he was advertising himself as a localization expert, and I checked him out, and he's really good based on what I've seen. But obviously I have no budget, so I'm not looking for any partnerships right now. That's not going to come in this phase of my indie game development career. So I said, look, I'll add you to this list of people that I have that I'm like, right, these people will be used in the future, but not right now. And then I had another guy, which is what made me want to make this video. And he was basically advertising him as that he would help me with marketing. Now, I'm not great at marketing, I'll admit that. But I would much rather do it alone now while I'm in uni, so I can at least get some experience in marketing, games specifically, rather than, because then at least in the future I'll be like, right, okay, I know the general foundations of marketing, so if I'm working with someone, I can kind of be more useful and give more useful information to them to then market my game. This guy, on the other hand, decided to be, well, I'll say how I caught him in his little scam act. So he joins the server and he messages me, I'll try to show on screen, in like some broken, terrible grammatical, terrible grammar and poor English. And I was like, I mean, that's fair enough. It's not the end of the world. But when my game is in English and somebody is messaging me saying they want to market my game to an audience that speaks English and they can't really speak English well themselves, I'm kind of like, right, so how are you an expert on how to market a game for a majority English-based audience? Obviously, I'm going to try localizing it for a few European countries as I have a bit of knowledge on how to do it. But currently, that's another topic though. But anyway, so this guy, he starts speaking like very bad grammar, and then I'm replying to him like, yeah, okay. And then all of a sudden, his grammar switches because he's asking, how's the game going? And I'm like, oh, maybe he's just the guy who wants to know how the game is. Nope. Then comes the, oh, well, I can help you with that. You want to make your Steam page live now. And I've done that. And I was like, right. All of a sudden, he's gone from small sentences, taking them ages to write, very bad grammar. And then suddenly he's writing paragraphs in seconds in perfect English. And I was like, right, okay. Clearly this guy is either, he might just be using AI to help or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. And then I was like, look, mate, I haven't got any money. I don't want any help right now. And he was like, that's okay then. How about I audit your Steam page for free? I was like, okay, where's the catch? And he said, no strings attached. I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to take a screenshot of that so he can't fuck me later on. So I then let him do that. A day later, he comes back, gives me this little PDF saying what's wrong with my Steam page, what's right with the Steam page. And I'm like, this looks really good. I'm quite impressed. And then I say, look, thank you, mate. Still can't pay you, but thank you for the help. I'll keep you on the list. Then I put this PDF into an AI check and I go, right, was this written by AI? And it basically said, this is basically all done by AI. There's no human input other than a quick prompt. And that really annoyed me because I was like, right, so you're trying to like make yourself seem like you're giving something out of your own hard work. And also, I know for a fact it did not take him long to do that because it just takes to put in a prompt, I'm sure, or you have to put in the prompts and edit them over into a PDF or whatever. But the AI checker, it said, right, it's AI. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm just going to leave it though because he's not messaging me again. That'll be the end of it. But then the next day, he had the nerve to go, hi, how are you? I wanted to check up on you and see if I may be of some help. I'm like, right, okay. So, and I went, yeah, that'd be great, mate. And then I took the screenshot from the AI checker, put it on the chat and went, here you go. And he blocked me. So immediately scammer has been, caught and whatever. And I was like, right, good thing I didn't do anything with that or give him any personal information or whatever information that he could use. But then something even crazier happened. He then made a new account with the same profile picture and messaged me again going, hello, how are you? And I'm just like, can you be that thick, like as a person, to think that, oh, this two people with the same profile picture must be different people? That really annoyed me, and I want to make a video on it to go into how to spot it. And I think especially with marketing, because that's what a lot of people advertise to indie game developers, I think, based on what I've seen, we can do your marketing for you. And anyone who's trying to do anything for free, first of all, that's pretty suspicious. But as I said earlier, if your game is in one language and you're trying to market, or the marketing people are trying to market to an audience that speaks a certain language, in this case, it's English, it could be any other language, it could be Spanish, it could be German, whatever. But if they themselves can't speak the language very well, how are they going to be very good at advertising it to the people who speak that language? Like if I was saying, oh, look, I'll advertise your game to a Spanish audience and I don't know Spanish, how am I going to do that? So it really annoyed me. I think that's the easiest way to spot it. But then not always that as well. It could just be a case of, oh, if they're doing something free or if they have an AI sent to their text and stuff, there's like, right, okay, just double check before you spend any money. But yeah, that's overall I want to talk about. It was really irritating. I really hope he sees this video. I don't like how you go around offering yourself as someone who is doing something out of the goodness of their heart, just as a good old chap whereas really you're just taking advantage of people, basically, and using AI and claiming it's your work, because it might have been in as copyright, but I guess it goes to it. So that's mostly what happened. Keep an eye out for AI scammers. They really do. They can ruin your life. I'm sure I don't really have to even say this to people. But aside from that, things are going very well on the game development side of things. Marketing is my next big push soonish, especially for Steam Next Fest. But I'm adding in an event system to the game to make the waves a little bit less repetitive. But I will go into more of that in next week's devlog. This week I'm doing kind of one off, one in for devlog, and then different video, devlog, different video, etc., etc. So yeah, be safe, guys, online. Don't let AI scammers take your money or your thoughts. So yeah, hope you all have a very nice rest of your day. I will see you later.